Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Arizona Adventure Park, our sandbox series in Planet Zoo in episode number 3 today. What we are going to do is we're going to build something new right over here that I was showing you right now. I'm going to build some kind of aviary for the Binturong. We're going to build some kind of aviary and also a house for the Binturong, and I was trying to build it in the same kind of style that we already built the house for the lemurs. And I also had the same problem that I had with the lemurs, because in the end the Binturong were able to use the climbing frames and leave their house, but they were not able to go onto the ground of the climbing frames in their aviary, which was I found out what the problem was, and I'm going back to that in the end of the video, and then I will tell and show you what caused the problem. So I had a little bit of a hard time to decide what I was going to build next, because first of it, I thought I was going to build some kind of new monkey habitats right over here. Maybe for the capuchin monkey and for the proboscis monkey. In the end I thought, no, it's not kind of, I was not feeling it. I thought we had so many monkeys in the last time, in our last episode, and I didn't want to do episode 3 with just another monkey. So I thought about building something like a flamingo lagoon right over here, because I thought it would be nice to have something big and open in the beginning of the zoo. And in the end I decided, no, I just want to build something completely different and build some kind of a aviary, which I never built before, but I thought it would be very fitting for the animals. For animals like the Binturong. And the Binturong is an animal that is not that well represented in the Planet Zoo community, I think, because it is from the not much loved Southeast Asian animal pack. But as I told you in the past, I really enjoy the animals from that pack, and so I was going to build something for these cute and amazing animals. I was promising you that I was going to put down some of the rides in this zoo, and we're definitely going to do that, but I decided in the beginning I just want to put down some habitats before I go into the ride theme. But I think we might go into the rides in the next episode, because we already have to plan where our station for the monorail. Is it even called a monorail because it is so simple, so small? Never mind. We have to plan where to put the station down, and we should put it down somewhere in the entrance area from the zoo. So I guess in the next or the episode after the next episode, we are going to put down the station. But I'm not promising you anything. That's for that. So what I'm going to do, I still use a lot of the plaster pieces to put down the base of the aviary, and then we are using those mesh fences. yeah, those mesh fences and also some metal beams to yeah, just for optics and to give it a little bit more support. And also I'm using those metal pieces again in black, because I think that gives the whole thing a cool contrast. Well, as you can see, it is important if you use those mesh fences, if you use those pieces, you really have to frame them. Because if you don't do that and don't give it some kind of support, yeah, those pieces seem to disappear. Because the lines are so thin that you almost don't see it if you don't put something around it. So that's a thing you might want to think about if you use it. I also thought about if I was going to give this kind of aviary a roof, but in the end I decided no, I don't want to give it a roof, because that would cause me some problems with putting down trees and foliage in the end that might stick through the roof, and that is something that I didn't want to have, because that might have caused some additional problems, because as you know, the binturong is an animal that climbs like a monkey, and that might have caused the animal to escape from the aviary, and so I decided to not go with a roof. But as you can see, I put down some of these fences in a different angle, in a 45-degree angle on top of it, so that in theory the animals wouldn't be able to climb over it. With those overlapping things, don't worry, I will correct that in when I'm finished with putting down all the fences. Yeah, so you already can see where I'm going to with this build. I want to be honest with you. In the beginning, when I was putting down all this and saw it, I just thought, oh my god, this is so massive. I don't think I like it here, because the walls of the aviary are so high, and yeah, you can see I'm looking around from left, from right, and from every angle, and I was not that happy. I thought, no, this won't work, and in the end I might delete everything and might go back to the Flamingo Lagoon as I planned it. But then I decided to go on with it, and that it might look different once the whole foliage, the trees and the shrubbery is inside it, and also we did a little decoration outside of it, and yeah, I was right. It turned out really really nice looking, and I think it fits the theme of our zoo perfect here in this area. Yeah, but once again, to be quite honest, I have some kind of hard time with this zoo. I really enjoy building in it. Don't get me wrong, but the theme of the zoo is very hard for me to find something that I really think that would fit in here, or most of the time I'm not quite sure how to accomplish some things. But well, don't worry, I think we might get to it. Definitely. As you can see, we already did lemur islands, which was pretty cool. And I also think the Binturong habitat looks great as well. And once again, we put down some of the habitats. I think we will be fine and everything will turn out right. Yeah, so the groundwork is laid out for the aviary. Now I was putting down some kind of roof for the house of the Binturong, which was not that easy, because if you have a building that is not shaped like which is not built in just one raster, but if you use different rasters, then it is quite difficult to lay down or to put down the roof for it. So it's a lot easier if you put down a flat roof like I did in here, but everything else is quite horror, because you have to copy it around so many different times, and you have to avoid sea fighting, which was pretty cool that I didn't have a problem with sea fighting in there, because those plaster pieces don't tend to cause that problem, I guess. And so that made it a lot easier for me. But still, you have to put down these roof pieces in different angles the whole time, so that in the end they all match each other, and that the whole shape of the roof does make sense in the end. Yeah, I also needed to give our roof in front of the building a little support, and I also used those plaster beams for that. I still don't know what to do to decorate these buildings a little bit, because they still look a little bit plain to me, and that's something I dislike very, very much. So if any one of you has any ideas what we could do with those plain walls, just let me know in the comment section, because I don't have a clue right at the moment. Maybe you have a cool idea what we can do with this. But keep in mind, we don't want to have something too colorful, because that's not what we are going to do in this zoo. Maybe I was thinking about some wooden pieces to lighten it up a little bit. Just let me know what you think about it, or as I said, if you have any ideas. So the next thing we are going to do is we're framing our path around the habitat, and I'm also doing some double fencing after that, because you don't want your children to put their fingers between those mesh fence and stick their hands into the habitat. Binturongs may not be a vile species, and they might look really, really cute, but I guess you still don't want to lose a finger to a Binturong. But if I'm not completely wrong, I might have read somewhere that was it in Malaysia? I think it was in Malaysia, that some people in Malaysia keep the Binturongs as a pet. So that once again does underline that these animals are not that vile or that dangerous, but still they are wild animals, and you never know. So that's why I did this double fencing in here. Also, double fencing looks really nice if you put some foliage behind it in the gap between the fence from the visitors and the fence from the animal, which we are doing afterwards. Even though the space between those two fences is pretty small, and it was not that easy to put too much foliage behind that, but still it looked great in the end. It turned out right. So this is, if I'm not completely wrong, this is going to be the first episode that will be online on YouTube when I'm already gone. Gone, not like gone forever, but gone, as I told you that I would be away for for a few weeks or a month or a little longer. And I'm going to tell you today why I will be away, because I think it is an important matter and people should talk about it and not be ashamed of it. I'm suffering from depression and from a burnout for a few years now. Playing Planet Zoo helped me to cope with it a little bit, because it just distracted me from all those sad thoughts in my mind. But the whole COVID situation and a new job that I got a year ago took its toll on me, and depression got stronger, and I was not feeling like I could cope with it alone, and I could handle it alone anymore. So I was looking for therapy. I started therapy this year in July, and I told my therapist that that my goal was to go to a clinic, because I think it would be best for me to be away from everything, from my daily life, like away from my job, away from my home. Even though I love my husband and I also love my mom, that we are living here in this house together with, but I had the feeling I need to be away from everything and just have the time to focus on myself and my mental health, and find a better place for me mentally. So my therapist and I agreed on it, that we are going to do that, and he took all the steps that were needed to get me into a clinic, and that is where I will be going on Wednesday. Today. So the day this episode will be out. So that will be my first day in the clinic. And I will stay there like, they told me it's about 4 to 6 weeks. So that's the time I will be away. And that's also the reason that I won't do any Fix My Habitat episodes, because first of all, I don't have any zoos right now that I have to work on, and also I couldn't do it because I don't have access to my PC, and I won't have the time to be online all the time. So that's the thing. And as I said, I think it is an important matter, and it is something that needs to be talked about, that needs to be addressed, especially in this time that we are living right now, with with all the insecurities that Corona is causing, and people need to know if mental health is very, very important, and you don't have to be ashamed if you are not in a great position mentally, and you don't have to deal with it alone. You need to, or you should seek help and talk to other people about that. That is very, very, very important, and as I said, you don't need to be ashamed about it. Yeah, so that's that. It was something I really wanted to talk about with you very quick, and yeah, I think we are going back to focus on our Binturong habitat now again. Okay, so this was really painful to do, because putting down all these additional fence, in the beginning I was thinking about not doing this for the part where I put down the plaster walls. But in the end I thought, no, it doesn't make sense if I don't put it down here, because the animals in theory could be able to climb those fences inside the habitat and then just jump on the roof of their house and escape. So I decided to do it anyways. But there was also some work I had to do, like you see here, to make it make sense in the end, which is really not that easy. And in German we say, in the end you have to die some kind of death. That means you definitely won't be able to make it all perfect. So you have to accept things, or you have to accept something that that just won't work, no matter what you do. So that was what I was realizing here, and that was what I was going to do here. So you have these overlaps of the mesh fence pieces. You can't do anything about that, because we don't have them in any shape or form. So you have to work with what we have in the game, and make it look as nice as possible. And yeah, the good thing about these mesh fences is the thing that I told you in the beginning, that these pieces are so thin that you almost can't see them if you don't frame them. So if you have some pieces that overlap a little bit, you won't see that if you don't look too close at it. So if you stand at the ground and look into the habitat, or maybe you look up a little bit as well, you won't notice that there's some pieces that are overlapping. Here, you see that, but you don't see that. Yeah, and now we are going to decorate the outside of the aviary a little bit. So I put down those fake rocks. I think they work very, very great, and especially perfect with the desert environment, because I know they are recolorable, but the default color of the rocks is really perfect for the desert environment, and so I really like to put them down in this biome. Yeah, here I was looking for some plants I could put down here, because I don't want them to be too tall, because our visitors should be able to look inside of the aviary, and the view of them shouldn't be blocked that much. And here you can see the little problem that I had, because the gap was so small. I just could put in only these grass pieces, because everything else was just too big. And as I said, I didn't want to put down some kind of trees or something. First of all, they would stick into the aviary, and second, it just would block the view of the visitors, and that's something that we don't want to have in there. Yeah, it all comes together really nice, and I started to realize, okay, this aviary doesn't look that bad, which I was fearing for in the beginning, and yeah, so I was really happy that I hadn't, that I didn't have to think about deleting everything again. Which wouldn't be the first time, to be fair. That's something that happens all the time to me. I'm thinking about something, starting to build it, and in the end, I don't like it, and I have to delete it, or at least change a lot of it. So that's a thing that happens. Yeah, but not here. This was my first attempt to build that, and yeah, we keep it. Yeah, then once again we put down the same doors that we also used for our lemur house. And I'm also putting down some foliage in the front of the building as well. At least until yeah, we find or we agree on something that we want to do to make the building look a little bit nicer. But I don't know if I really am into some wooden pieces, because I don't know if it would fit the desert environment. The desert environment for sure, but not the style that we are going for with this zoo. I don't know. We have to think about it. Yeah, there I noticed that the indoor habitat is not that big that we could put in these food enrichment item, and we also couldn't put it down on the outside, because you know that our keepers won't be able to go outside, as we have the same kind of not problem, but we have the same kind of building that we have with the lemurs, so that only the animals can leave the building, but not the keepers. Well, the keepers can too, but they can't go into the aviary. Yeah, and once again, you see my great attempts to build some climbing frames, and I'm once again just terrible at it. And this piece here, this is the bad piece. Or at least I did use it a little bit wrong. I put down this pillar too deep, because that was the one piece that caused all the problems. That was the one piece that made my animals be able to climb outside, but not be able to climb down on the ground and leave the climbing frame, which is really, really weird. Because if you were looking at the heat maps and the traversable area, it clearly showed that the animals could leave the house, but they were not able to go on the ground outside. That was the same that I had in the last episode with the red lemurs, which I also didn't notice, or I didn't understand how that would be possible. I changed a lot with the lemurs, and in the end it turned out okay, and I did something by accident that fixed the problem, but I had the same problem here again. And Yeah, as I was looking at the Binturong, I noticed that they would go to the hole in the wall where they could leave the building, and they would climb down these these pillars that I used there. They would climb down to the ground, and then I thought, okay, that is weird. Why would they climb down and walk out on the ground if they could use it and completely use the climbing frame to get out there? That was the point where I noticed that something might be wrong with this piece. So I decided to delete it, and in the end, it worked. They could use the climbing frame, they could climb out of it, they could go on the ground, and they could use the whole terrain. So yeah, as I said, that was kind of weird. I didn't understand it, but there was definitely something wrong with that. Yeah, so I'm here going to put down a lot of foliage. It's always a little bit complicated if you put down foliage in that kind of a tiny space. Yeah, because you have to think about a lot. You have to take care that your plants won't stick through the fence or through the walls. You also have to take care that they don't touch the walls when you have climbing animals in there. So I had to put those palm trees not completely at the edge of the habitat, but a little bit closer to the center, so that the animals won't be able to climb on the tree and then use the fence and get out of their habitat. Yeah. Also, there's one thing I thought about, and that is something that we definitely might be doing in the future. Yeah, I put down those colored wall pieces because I thought that would look nice for the inside of the house. Yeah. To go back to my point, something I wanted to do, which I cut out here because I tried a lot and it just didn't work out. I definitely want to put down some kind of shades or a sheltered area for the visitors. As we are in a desert environment and the temperatures are very high, like in the moment 44 degrees centigrade here, our guests are very, as you can see, they are very sweating and they are very hot. So we definitely have to put down some shades for them to rest underneath or to look into the habitat underneath that shade. Yeah, here we are, and we welcome our first Binturong in our habitat. We're just putting down one more door on the inside of the house, so it does make sense and it doesn't look like our doctors or zookeepers will. Yeah, here's the points. You see, they can come out of the house, but they can't touch the ground. I fixed it by deleting our hole in the wall and giving them a proper exit that fixed the whole thing. But in the end, I wasn't satisfied with it because that's not what I wanted. And here you can see they are climbing down these pillars. And so I thought, okay, if they climb down and walk out on the ground, there must be something wrong with it. And yeah, there was something wrong with it, and I managed to fix that. Yeah, and so I forgot what I was saying before, but I hope I was finished with my point. Okay, so I'm just making the thumbnail over here for the video. Sorry for that if that happens sometimes. But yeah, you want to see what you will see in the video. So that's something I have to do. Okay, so we're coming to an end right now. You just have time to watch the animals some more. I don't have any clue what we are going to build next. I guess it will be a surprise for me as well as for you. Okay, that was weird what the Binturong was doing here. Yeah, if you like that episode, if you enjoyed it, so just leave a like. That would mean very, very much to me, as I noticed many people are watching my videos, and I also get a lot of comments on Facebook that they like my videos, but they forget to hit the like button on YouTube. So if you don't mind, that would be great. Also subscribe to my channel so you don't want to miss another episode of Arizona Adventure Park. And yeah, take care of yourself, stay healthy, and I'll be back with you soon. Bye guys.
About it.